Alright, I forgot there was a second one. Laura told me, or reminded me, about the second one. To be honest, I wish Josh would have just shot the dog and Laura didn't say anything on Facebook and I didn't say anything to the neighbor. And the problem would have been solved. Now we have more of a problem. Alright. So, from experience from the last video, if I do this backwards, it'll give you everything in the order that it happened, I guess, maybe? I don't know. So Laura said there's not as much here, but there's still information here. So, basically, Laura posted this and tagged me in it. Tadadad Riverboy is our friend Josh. He was there. He witnessed the whole thing. And like I said in the last video, maybe I shouldn't have put the screenshot on there, but they threatened to sue me. So I'm like, fuck it. I'll put it on there. Yeah, Laura handles stress a lot less than I do. She can't handle stress. She's more of the flight. I'm more of the fight personality. She's more of a sheep and I'm more of a goat. But this Dakota is definitely a predator. They never asked for money. They just said fix the fence. So I fixed the fence. And I thought everything was fine. But now, they want money. And so like I said in the last video, the goats were getting out of the property because I didn't have fencing in the back. But Robert and Dakota both said it was no big deal. fact, Dakota laughed about it. He thought it was funny. Until one day, apparently, they got in the shop and made a mess. Now, he didn't say anything to me about it. A month later, after he was cussing me out, and he still didn't say anything about it when he was cussing me out, his friend Robert was the one who told me about it. They never asked for any compensation. I don't have any. They never documented sending me a bill. They never sent us pictures, nothing. They claim that the goats were in the garage and they made a mess of his shop. And he was pissed off about it. And I understand. Okay. So I had been working on the east fence line. I just hadn't got it done yet. So it was on my list of things to do. It's just other things became more of a priority. And both the neighbors were like, hey, it's not a big deal. 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 Then one day it became a big deal. So I nipped it in the bud. No big deal, right? So, and I asked Robert about the shop. I whatever. I tried to apologize to Dakota, and I was going through Robert because Dakota was being a dick. As you can see, that's his natural instinct. And so I was going through Robert, since he's the nicer one of the two, and Robert basically said Dakota will just be happy that the fence gets up. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I put the fence up, I get it done, everybody's happy, right? Then we catch their dog on our property chasing and actively trying to kill our animals, and then they want to threaten us. So here we are. Yeah, my girlfriend said that looks like barbed wire, and it probably is. It's probably from barbed wire, because our dog got a similar cut. They're trying to say our goats, or my goats, did it. Well, your dog was on my property. So if your dog's on my property and my goats injured your dog, then that's your problem. Well, they are free range, except they were on our property, and his dog came onto our property and killed our birds. So the dogs did break into the run. They didn't break into the coop, but they broke into the run. The coop is like Fort Knox. That being said, it has an automatic door that opens during the day. So yeah, dogs and foxes can get into the coop during the day. But yeah, the turkeys and the fowls, they are free range on our land. Now, if our animals go onto their property, yeah, I guess it's free game. I can't say anything about them killing our livestock if it's on their property. But I can say something about their dogs coming onto our property and killing our livestock. There's a big difference. So yeah, like she said, there's not as much here. But yeah, we were told by the cops to not communicate with them anymore, and our lawyer would basically tell us the same. So I basically just sent him a text message that says, from now on, all communications needs to be in writing. Of course, Dakota kept trying to call me, because he's trying to keep it, he's trying to stay off the paper trail. It's one thing I learned about criminals is they will try to avoid the paper trail as much as possible. So you have to try to keep them on the paper trail as much as possible. So yeah, this is how many times he tried to call me today. Since this all started. So, but I wouldn't answer. Because I sent him a text message that says, put everything in writing. All communications are to be in writing from now on. That's what the cop says. That's what our lawyer would say. And so that's what I said. And they want to ignore that, and they want to keep calling me. And when I told them that all communications needs to be in writing from now on out. So, you know, I'm willing to put this all under the bridge, but it's not probably going to get put all underneath the bridge. So, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But, anyway. I'm not saying we're 100% innocent. You know, like it says, we knew the goats were getting out, but they kept saying it was not a problem. And then all of a sudden it became a problem. So we fixed the problem. We've been asking them to fix their dog problem for months. And obviously, they didn't fix the problem. You know? And he threatened to kill my goats and pigs for being on his property when they're not doing any damage to his property or his livestock. The pigs actually might, well, I'm sorry. The goats did get in the shop that one time. And the pigs might cause more damage from rooting up the soil. Because they can make a mess. But like I said, if our animals are on their property, I can't really argue that fact. But that's not the point here. The point is his dogs, their dogs, were on our property attacking our livestock, and we caught them red-handed, and they want to point at us as if we're the problem, and they don't want to take accountability for their animals' actions. I took accountability for my animals' actions, and I fixed the problem. But they obviously don't want to take accountability, and they don't want to fix the problem. They want to put the blame on us. So, there you go.